What's up, everybody? How are you all doing today?
Yeah, how's everyone doing?
I'm joined. Oh wait, what did you change your name to iFunny again?
Tom Terrific.
Oh yeah. Jeez, I'm kind of slow. Anyway, today I'm joined with Tom Terrific, doing a one-on-one about the AAF and being
Oh
shut
man,
down
8 weeks,
with 2 weeks left in the regular season.
and like my problem with this is they could have just continued the season, and then worked everything out in the off season. Like they would have had so much more time to do that.
I think, right, really, I don't really understand what Tom Dundon was really thinking.
I don't think. Continue.
Oh, he kind of essentially wasted so much of his money in this league just to basically throw a hissy fit and pull out of the league. Like, it's really immature to, okay, you didn't get some young players, but that's what undrafted players are for. Like, they're not going to give up some talented young players for you.
Yeah, like that's. I think they could have got their young players from the draft. Like take the undrafted players, and then work with them.
I just think it's ridiculous. Like, I don't understand why.
And I don't think they needed the NFLPA as much as Dundon was saying. I really don't. I think
I don't think they did.
I don't think they need him at all anyway. Like I don't think they needed the NFLPA to get involved in any part. I mean, they could have taken these undrafted players and then it could still have worked as a developmental league without having to get the NFLPA involved.
Definitely. I think.
And
Oh, go on.
I think he just wanted to and he got in on the gambling on the app. Like that was pretty much his whole goal in the first place.
He wanted to make money off of the gambling.
And he hurt the league more than he helped it. And do I think there was financial struggles? Maybe, probably. But do I think they're as bad as the media made it out to be? No.
Like, I mean, you had these big name players. I mean, not players, coaches. Michael Vick, Mike Singletary, Steve Spurrier, all in this league. And you would think that this league couldn't fail. All right, I did not think it was going to fail, but
I thought it could have lasted several years.
I think so too. I definitely think it's ridiculous.
I think part of what hurt the league is there wasn't enough reporting on it. Like, yeah, they had CBS Sports, but ESPN only talked about it for the first week. Like, they only showed highlights of, like, a couple games, and then that was it. And I think if ESPN would have chipped in a little bit, it would have helped it out.
I think there is still a slight chance for the league to be revived, but they need a big-time investor. They need somebody.
I think Jerry Jones is that guy.
Yeah. I really...
Most definitely.
I'm not sure, though, because imagine an NFL team owner also owning another semi-pro league. Not semi-pro, pro football league. Like, you would think there would be some questions there. But I think that somebody like I was talking to you earlier, like Mark Cuban, somebody that isn't involved in football but definitely can be.
And he has that stronghold in Texas since he owns the Mavs. And I mean, if you watch, the San Antonio games, fans showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would help because I think Mark Cuban's a better businessman than Dundon is. He has more experience. And I just think Dundon just was not ready for it. I didn't think he had good intentions in the first place.
I don't think he did. I think... Okay, so let's see. Yeah. He put in $250 million. He's losing $70 million. for a league that he came basically in just for the gambling and the app, which
Yeah, it was.
I don't
I think it was
understand.
just to get his name out there too. Like, oh hey, I exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I own an NHL team. But hey, everybody. It's like, no, he wasn't the right guy for it.
Folding of the league is very, 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 very possible, but it's not official
Yeah.
quite yet. Um, based on players' reactions, coaches' reactions, I think at this point we can safely say it's official. The league has folded.
Yeah.
Players, their contracts are probably cut by now. They're
Yeah, I read something on Twitter talking about how I think Trent Richardson's contract has been expired and
along with Jerome Elliott and
terminated. I think
few other
Charles
big
Johnson was
names.
also involved. His name was on that list.
And there are all these big players that were playing in the AAF that excuse me, that were that obviously showed they deserve a second chance in the NFL. Imagine if they played one or two more seasons, like Carter Schultz. He was nobody heard of him, and then he starts getting all these sacks in the AAF, and he's I don't remember. I think he's a defensive end. Like, he looked like the J.J. Watt. No, okay. Jerome Elliott looked like the J.J. Watt of the league. But he looked like maybe... Okay, no. How about this? Jerome Elliott looked like the Aaron Donald of the league. And then...
Oh, yeah.
Carter Schultz looked like the J.J. Watt.
And that Stallions defense was good. Like, I think they led the league in sacks this year.
I do not quite remember, but I do know their defense was way better than their offense. But Bunyo used to be a Packers running back, was doing excellent for the
Oh yeah, didn't he get hurt though?
I don't remember if he got hurt. I do remember though that he was second in the league for touchdowns behind Trent Richardson with 7, and Trent Richardson had 11.
Trent Richardson deserves a second chance. So does Banya.
Yes. They both look like touchdown machines.
I also hope Charles Johnson for Orlando gets a second chance. Because I really liked his game against San Antonio. He was amazing.
Rocket Ross, that's who I'm going for. I want to see him back in the league. Maybe even on the Redskins. Like, he was obviously the most dominant wide receiver in the league, and that's without a question.
Oh yeah. And I just feel that it's insulting to the players for them to shut down this early.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was someone who just signed, I think it's Taiwan Jones.
Oh yep, I heard about that.
The night before it closes, and he's told he has to leave the hotel room like that next day. He didn't have until Sunday like some teams did. He had to go.
Yep.
And it's like, you can't at least help these guys get back to their homes. Don't just toss them out in the street like, oh, there you go.
I mean, it's really frustrating because this league, it had everything that it needed. It had coaches. It had all-star great college coaches, all-star great football NFL legends, Michael Vick, Mike Singletary. There's somebody else too, at least I think.
I also like Mike Martz. Martz was great. I enjoyed seeing Mike Martz coach for the Fleet. It was great because he coached with the Rams for a while.
Yeah.
Was he a part of the Greatest Show on Turf? Or was that?
I think he was.
And they had all these great coaches, and they just, I don't know how they lost all this money.
I don't understand it.
And I think some of it could be some teams didn't draw that well. Like Arizona didn't draw too well. Unfortunately, the Stallions didn't draw too well. They were drawing like 9. I think Arizona's low was like 9,000 at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And like these tickets were great prices, and they're
Yeah,
turning them down. It's like I would go. I mean, Arizona sports, Arizona Hotshots probably the best team there. The Cardinals are rebuilding, the Suns are rebuilding, and that could have gave them some football to watch,
mm-hmm.
during the off season.
So we're gonna take a slight sidetrack here, and talk a tiny bit about the XFL. What does this say about the XFL, who looks like they will have less coaches, players than the AAF had?
I think it just goes to show, like, I think it's almost you got to get there first. You got to get the best players first, and then the other guy. And I think the XFL, I just don't see it succeeding. To be honest,
Mm-hmm.
like I think they should be a little worried because I mean they can get good players, but like I don't know. I don't think it's gonna have as good of a click with the NFL as the Alliance did.
I don't think so either. I just think I'm just more of confused at this point why he would back out of a potentially great league. Like it's just something that makes you scratch your head because he invested so much money into this and he backs out. And players have shown their frustration, coaches have shown their frustration. Um
And I think it had a lot of, like I said it before, it had a lot of potential, but I think he should have waited,
mhm.
got the season done. And the NFLPA said they're still open to negotiations,
Yeah.
but he didn't get the offer he wanted right then, so he took his ball and went home.
Yep.
And the NFLPA said they're open to negotiations. They wanted to talk more, and the NFL doesn't even understand why he shut it down early. Nobody in the organization knows why he shut it down early. It sounds a little fishy to me that he would do this early.
It does. Um I'm going to bring us
And
to Oh, wait, what?
and reading some of the statements from the teams and then listening to some of the coaches' interviews, you can tell everyone. I think everyone's confused. Everyone's blindsided by it.
They're mad, they're confused, I think they're frustrated. They don't understand why they were so easily just cast aside and forgot about.
And I would have understood it a little more, and I think players and coaches too would have understood a little more if they would have. I mean, if they were going to fold, at least fold at the end of the year. Like it would have been a little more easier to wait till the end of the year, opposed to just shutting down mid-season. There's still 2 weeks of the regular season to be played, and
Yeah.
well, 10 weeks. But yeah, like they shut down in week 8, and I think if they would have waited, they could have gotten a much better deal with the NFLPA. I think they actually would have gotten one if they would have waited in the off season.
I think definitely if they waited until this football league's off season, they would have gotten a much better plan going. They probably would have gotten some sort of plan that involved, like looking at undrafted players, maybe having their own draft. That's what I saw. I saw having their own
Yeah.
draft after the NFL draft, of these players that I think it would have waited until the teams cut down. So when NFL teams cut down their players from their roster, then the AAF would have their draft and draft.
Yeah. And I think then they do that. They take, they have their own draft after the NFL draft's done. Take some of those undrafted players, and then they perform well. Well, the NFL can extend them a contract at any time. It's still essentially a minor league without like them being allocated, essentially like sent down, or called up. I think it could have done like that, where it's like, okay, we'll sign you, and then you can come up at any time in the season.
I really, yeah, I kind of agree with that. Like, I think just the NFL can be like, hey, this guy's doing really good. Sort of like a guy like Rashad Ross and just like, hey, how about you come train with us for a little bit, see how you do. If you don't perform like we want you to, we'll send you right back to the what's it called? AAF. uh, it's doing that glitch.
Camera angles they could have worked on.
Okay, and I'm back. Sorry about that again.
Some of those reviews were hard to see because they just didn't have a close angle. And that was in, I think it was the Arizona game a couple weeks ago. And a player had dropped it at the goal line. And to me, it looked like he dropped it before, but since they didn't have a good enough camera angle, they couldn't have ruled it, as a fumble because it was called on the field as a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was the only thing I really had a problem with the league. That was my only problem with it.
I think they're really like, okay, so this is going like a little bit off topic, I guess. Sort of like talking about. I think my favorite part of the league was favorite. I guess most unique thing was the onside rule. Um,
Oh, yeah.
where you have to. It's essentially a 4th and 12. And you have to get 12 yards. I really think it should have been a 4th and what's it called? A 4th and like 20. Because that would make it way more interesting.
And I think the NFL almost, came to the decision maybe try bringing I think the NFL wanted to do like a 4th and 15. I think as a GM brought it up, but like I think you have a better chance of converting on 4th and 12 and 4th and 15 than you do an onside kick because the new kick rules are kind of ruined. Like, yeah, the onside kick probability it's not that high, but now with the rule change on kickoff, it's going to be even harder.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what's it going to hurt? Nothing.
Like, I mean, I don't understand. Like, I think the NFL definitely could have. I think the NFL definitely can. What's it called? Use this league, I guess, as a developmental league. So why doesn't the NFL maybe? So they just notice their owner goes down. Maybe if the NFL would kind of step in as, I guess, an investor, and they give the AAF some money to keep going, I can actually see that happening.
And I think that'd be great because, I mean, obviously the NFL had a lot of interest in the league. I mean, NFL Network televised the games, and the interest was there. And I think pulling it this early is such a terrible mistake. It screws over a lot of people.
What I'm thinking is, imagine Roger Goodell buys out the league.
I would hope for that. I think
okay, go.
I think it would give. I mean, having a team. I mean, you look at crowds in San Antonio. They drew, and I think with the NFL having it as a part of them, as a part of their like entity, it's going to draw more eyes to the screen and draw more people to the games.
Definitely.
And I saw this article. Sorry, this article. It was Tom Dundon will go down as I think it said Tom Dundon will go down as the evil villain who pulled the plug on the alliance.
Oh yeah.
And
it's frustrating. Oh no, you keep going.
And I think it could. I mean, I would have I think it could have, because once all the bad news started going around about it possibly folding like a couple weeks ago, I wasn't gonna buy into it quite yet. But I don't think it was as much as a money problem as it was Tom Dundon's ego that got in the way of everything.
I don't think he really cared that he was losing money. Well, I mean, everybody cares when they start losing money, but I think he more of got frustrated where, like, okay, yeah, they didn't give him any players. He didn't try to do any sort of workaround or anything. He just says, okay, I quit. It's a cowardly move. It it's it's ridiculous.
And he used them. He used the league.
Oh yeah, he sure did.
And it's frustrating because it could have been something great. And I really mean that. And I watched every game. And it was I liked the 2-point conversion play, although I don't want the NFL to do that. I like the extra point, but it was an exciting league. And I think if it was just given an extra chance, one more, just finish out the year and see what it can lead to. To quit after 8 weeks is ridiculous.
And the Salt Lake Stallions have officially folded.
Just now?
This tweet was at 1:56. On behalf of the Salt Lake Stallions organization, it has come with great disappointment and surprise to learn the American football has decided to cease operations. We are truly grateful for everyone who has supported the Stallions, and especially the 50-plus talented players and coaches that gave everything that they had to provide. 8 weeks of very good and highly entertaining football, which it was. Football was not an issue. It looked,
Yeah.
it was exciting football.
The quality of the game was great.
We are blessed to have been able to use first-class venue and fully appreciate all amazing people at Rice Stadium for helping each event be first class. Here's the thing. The most disappointing part of this failure is the belief we had this as a product that will work. The football was good. The changes made the game safer and more exciting for the fans. The timing provided us with a chance. Oh, I'm sorry, I just clicked on the tweet. With a chance to extend football by 12 weeks. It provided a much needed developmental league for players, coaches, and officials, as well as a revolutionary concept in technology that could change the way we view sports. We hope to be able to share information from the league on how to provide refunds for those who purchase tickets to the April game, and will pass on that once we obtain it. Thank you for allowing us to be part of this community for a short period of time. Hashtag rain down, sincerely, Tyler Howell, team president.
Jeez, it seems like there's a lot of like disappointment in their statement. Like they're upset. Like you genuinely can just tell by what they said that they're bothered by it, that they're hurt. And I think now that leaves the Legends as the only team who hasn't made a statement yet.
I think so.
Well, a statement of some sort, because I don't think they've said anything yet. They've only has the league like Twitter account said anything, or is that like how's that running?
The league Twitter account has not said a thing. I can check it right now, but I'm pretty sure it has still been quiet. Just let me get to it. The Alliance. Nope. They've retweeted.
And I don't even think Ebersol said anything yet either.
Yep, the Hotshots have made a statement. Fleet have made a statement.
And then
Legends have not.
Yeah, Legends I think are the only one.
Technically, the Legends are the only team alive, but it's done. The league has officially folded.
Do you think? And I think this should be interesting to think about. And I don't know if it'll happen or not. But do you think there's any chance that when the XFL starts getting going, do you think they'll buy out some of these teams and take them and put them in their own league, like expand in a way?
Okay, so that's interesting. Very interesting. I can see that happening.
especially with San Antonio and Birmingham, which I don't know where all the XFL teams are exactly. I know one's in St. Louis, and I think they have Tampa as one.
And it was just posted in the Discord, but I'm going to check and see if it's real. Uh,
I just
oh, there it is.
I could see the XFL trying to buy a team, but I think the XFL needs to just not rush anything and see and just try and learn from, I guess, I don't think there's many mistakes the Alliance made that were that bad. I mean, yeah, they lost money, and I think part of it is not 100% their fault. I think it's a lack of reporting, like I said earlier, but I think the XFL needs to be careful because I don't see the XFL lasting more than 2 years, even if one.
I do see a lot of the players that were in the AAF going to the XFL, though. That's one thing I do see. But
I really hope Trent Richardson does something and
I
goes
think
maybe to the XFL, or even better, find NFL team gives him another shot. Because I mean, it's been years since he's last. Can't remember the last time he played, and I think if he's given another chance, I think he can actually do pretty well because he's learned over time. He did really good in the Alliance. I mean, his only problem really was he just couldn't find a hole to run through.
yeah.
Like there's pictures of him, and it's like
With the Colts and with
then,
the Raiders.
and I think Trent Richardson had so much potential. I still think he does.
Yeah. I think
And
more of a red zone threat than a downhill runner, but yeah.
and right now, I mean, the Raiders. You look at did the Raiders sign a running back recently? Was it
I don't quite
was it
remember.
Crowell?
It might have
Was it
been.
Crowell? Yeah, I think they could still use help at the running back position though, because Marshawn Lynch is done.
I think so.
I think he's done, and I think they'll probably draft someone, but they can bring Trent Richardson in and put him in on goal line situations. They could do pretty well with them.
I got a tweet from Mike Bercovici. He says, "Thanks for the memories at AAF," and it's showing him get lit up from a commander defender.
That has to be one of the greatest hits I've ever seen.
I think so. Like, that was the hit that drove people. Like, it drove people insane when they were watching this hit. He gets smacked, alright? And he gets up, he's like, what just happened?
Yeah, like I'm surprised. I'm surprised he can even remember that hit. Like,
Yeah.
he got rocked.
Then again, it's some hits like those that you never forget.
And it's that first week that first week was excellent.
That was first week.
I was hooked on that first week. And Orlando that Orlando San Antonio game, not San Antonio. Who did Orlando play again week 1? San Diego. No, they didn't.
No, they played Fleet.
Yeah, they played the Fleet. Yeah, oh wait, Orlando played Atlanta week 1. Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
And they ran the Philly special.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that.
And that was the only time I was ever excited to see the Philly special. I was actually hyped for that.
Oh man. Like, I knew when I first heard about the league and I started looking at jerseys. Okay, so I almost chose the Legends because of Michael Vick. I'm looking at the Legends, I'm like, oh, there's no way they have Michael Vick coaching. And then I'm looking, and I'm like, I gotta go with the Stallions, though. They're affiliated with the Packers. Their jerseys look clean. And I just went with the Packers. I mean, not Packers, Stallions. Excuse me.
And I narrowed down, because originally when I first heard of the league, I was going to lean towards Memphis. And I just kind of thought about it for I was like, no, I like Atlanta, because Atlanta had Denard Robinson.
Oh, yeah?
And it came down to Atlanta or Salt Lake. And then after a while, I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to choose Salt Lake, because I think their uniforms are amazing. And I see. I want to get one of their jerseys,
Mm-hmm.
but their shop is pretty pricey. It's up there, but I think after that first week, I was hooked, and then it just gradually got better. Like the app started. The app was great. I mean, yeah,
Definitely.
Dundon screwed over the league with the app and stuff, but the app was great. Predicting the play was fun.
I think my second favorite team would probably have to be the Iron, just because like their jerseys may be just like uh just black, but they looked so nice. Like it's something
It was
about it.
it was a it was a simple design that worked great.
Yeah,
They
and
made it look nice.
not only the fact that Trent Richardson played there too. Like he's somebody that I watched playing in college. I thought he was gonna be a beast in the NFL, and no, but this gave him a second chance that he needed.
And I think like Birmingham, I liked Perez, their quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
and for a while he was one of my picks to be MVP, and I think, which that's actually an interesting question. Who do you think should be the MVP of the league?
Oh, I think it. I think for me, Rashad Ross
Because
or what were
Garrett
you gonna say?
Gilbert's up there.
Oh yeah,
He had a
definitely.
great season.
He had a great season. I think he's gonna be signed. To be 100%
Oh
honest,
yeah,
by another team.
and there's teams who could use a backup quarterback if someone drops. I mean, I think Miami. I don't know, Miami maybe. I mean, yeah, they have Fitzpatrick's probably going to be their starter, but
So
they
they'll
could
be
use
good
someone
for
to be
3
their.
games.
But so, yeah, and then they'll have to put someone else in,
Yeah.
and then the cycle repeats. But I think if they could get someone to be the backup and just work from there, like I think Arizona. I think they end up trading Rosen,
Mm-hmm.
but I think Gilbert could go to Miami maybe. I don't know who Jacksonville's backup is right now behind Foles. So Gilbert could go there. I mean, it's in Florida, so he's not,
Yeah.
going that far. I think those two teams could be end up being his destination. I really do.
All right, so I think that brings us to our next segment. Which players made an impact big enough in the AAF to get a second chance or a first chance in the NFL?
And wait, what was that again? Sorry.
Oh, which players made a big enough impact in the AAF to get a second or first chance in the NFL?
I think Richardson should get another chance.
Well, we'll start off like this. Who do you think? Who is your number one player to get a second chance?
I'd probably go either Trent Richardson or probably Richardson or Gilbert. I mean, did Gilbert ever?
Gilbert played with the
for?
Panthers.
Oh yeah, and those probably. I think Richardson's probably my number one pick.
Mine would be Rocket Ross, my favorite wide receiver in the league.
Oh yeah, and I think there's a lot of teams who need wide receivers, and I think he'll get a chance. I think he actually will be on the team.
I want to see the Packers pick him up just cause.
That'd be awesome.
I do want the Packers to have a reunion with Jerome Elliott. Led the league in sacks. I mean, you've got to be good on some level to lead any league in sacks. So, I think he had 6.5.
And I think there's so many players who I think are so deserving of another chance, and I think some will get that chance. And I wouldn't be shocked if some of them get a second chance and then do really well in the NFL.
I think there are a few players that won't get a chance at all either. I think Carter Schultz, I don't think he's going to get another chance. I mean, his first chance, actually. I don't think he's going to be signed to a team, which is really sad, but I think
And
there's maybe a chance that he can make practice squad. That's what I'm thinking.
it's just it's it's really hard for them now because they're in this situation where it's like they don't know what's going to happen now. For players who are just now getting the chance to start and
Mm-hmm.
get a chance to, maybe get looks from the NFL, now the league's folded and they don't get that chance.
Yep. You know.
And I
Oh, you go.
continue.
No, you can go.
And I think it's unfortunate because I just don't get how their opportunity like that can just be taken from them. And and there's a lot of players who have the opportunity, who are just now getting the opportunity to go, getting the opportunity to play, and then they're told, "Sorry, the league's cut down. The league's gone. There goes your chance." And I think there's some players who could have done something.
So I'm just reading a few things on Twitter. Justin, FanDuel declares the Apollos champions of the AAF and pays out those who bet on them to win the title.
Yeah, I think you have to crown them the champions. And not only was it
Oh, no, you
not
go.
only was it the record, but they were a dominant team. On top of that, like, yeah, they lost. Who did they lose to?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't think of it right now. But Arizona beat them.
Was it Arizona? Okay.
And I think had the playoffs actually happened, I think it probably would have been San Antonio, Orlando as my championship game.
So one of the AAF fan accounts has over 1,000 followers on Twitter. Has named Garrett Gilbert as the MVP. He threw for over 2,000 yards with 14 touchdowns in only 8 weeks. So that's impressive.
Yeah, he killed it. I have to agree. I don't know. I think I would put him as my MVP. I mean, I thought about Richardson, but Gilbert rarely messed up. He was lights out that season.
He was. Just trying to read more tweets from the AAF.
And then one of the favorite things is if you went on the Alliance site when Orlando was playing, you could click on it was a Spurrier cam. And it was just a camera on him, and you could hear him talk as like mic'd up, but just him the whole time, and his reaction to the plays and everything. And I could tell he had a lot of fun with the league.
I think so, yeah. I think it is kind of funny, though. Johnny Manziel signs with the AAF, folds 2 weeks later.
Yeah. It's like he cursed him.
Well, I mean, he seems to curse every single team he goes to. He went to the CFL, their team. It sucked. Played on the Browns. They sucked. To be fair, he wasn't bad at the Browns, but he wasn't good either.
I knew once he signed, it's like, yeah, I think it was good for them. I mean, I don't think they needed him in the league. I really don't. And I think he did. I think I really do think he deserved another chance.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he just, I don't know. I didn't want him in it, to be honest.
Here's one good thing I have to say about him. He brought attention to the league again. They seem to be losing viewers gradually, but when Johnny Manziel joined the team, everybody's like, oh, he's a player we all know. He's a big name. He's back close to the NFL. Maybe he'll come back to the NFL, so that piqued people's interest.
Yeah, and
Oh.
I think he had a lot of fun in it. And yeah, this is back to this to the ratings thing. But yeah, their ratings were actually pretty decent over
Hmm.
the year. I mean, once he came back, bam, everyone wanted to, people wanted to tune in and see him.
Yep.
And
Like,
right when CBS
oh,
said, "Hey, we want to take," oh sorry, when CBS wanted to televise 3 more games, that was like now they have more attention
hmm
on the league, and I think it was not. It was actually pretty cool seeing him play, though.
it was. Like, I really never watched him play in the CFL. I know he didn't play the best, but watching him, he made some decent throws, some decent runs, and I was like, this is the Johnny Manziel I remember.
He was so good in college.
He
He
was
really
amazing.
was.
It's just so bad
And
it's just so bad he wasn't really the best player.
I think he just had some. I think he just wasn't ready for the NFL when he joined.
Yeah.
I just think he was. I thought I felt I thought he was thinking it was going to be too easy. Like that's what kind of went through my mind. It's like I thought he, had the idea that he was going to go in there and succeed, and then when he gets bounced around and then he leaves, it's like, yeah, he just what I don't think he wasn't. I think he wasn't ready for it at all.
I just I just think he's a little too immature. That's what I think it was.
Oh yeah,
Partying all the time, getting drunk before games. Not the best thing you want to see your starting quarterback do.
and it's like I remember there was one game he got mad because he threw an interception.
Hmm.
It's one of the funniest things. He got mad because he threw a pick, I think it was. So he grabbed one of those Microsoft tablets on the sideline and started beating it against his head.
Oh yeah, I remember
Like
that. Sort of
he
like
was
Belichick throwing it against the cases
like,
or bench.
and I think he could have. I think Manziel could have done something in the Alliance. I really do. I think he could have been good.
So, we'll just pretend that the two best teams. All right, AAF. I mean, not AAF. The Legends, or wait, not Legends. Uh, Apollo and Birmingham. All right. I almost said Legends. Uh, let's say they're in the title game because let's be honest, they probably would have both made it. Who do you have winning?
Um, wait, I think aren't they in the same side? Wait, was it?
Wait, aren't they?
I think they're on the same side.
Oh, wait, they are.
Yeah, they're both in the East.
Oh, okay. So who do you have
Well,
winning
I
in the
think
championship game?
I think I think I think the Final Four in the playoffs would have been San Antonio, Arizona in the West,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll go Orlando, of course, Orlando and Birmingham. Both teams are locked in
Yep.
the end of the weekend. I think it would have been Orlando, San Antonio in the final.
Oh,
And
okay.
I think Orlando probably would have won it all.
I think Garrett Gilbert would be title MVP because I don't know the name of their Super Bowl
Yeah, I think they just called it the
title game.
Alliance Championship game or something like that. And one thing, speaking of the championship game, I want to know is why they moved it from Vegas to Texas to a stadium that
Hmm.
had less capacity.
Maybe because it's cheaper, to be honest.
And one thing I think kind of gave me hope, and because once the bad news came out before last week's games, when I heard that the championship game was going to be moved to Texas, I think the stadium was going to be played at was like a stadium Jerry Jones owned. It was like it's like the Star in Frisco, Texas, or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And I think he actually owned the stadium. And I think having him, owning the stadium where the championship game was going to be played would have gave, his interest in the league a little more. And unfortunately, he didn't make it that far. But it's weird. I think the stadium only has a capacity of like 12,000, and then it was originally supposed to be played like UNLV Stadium.
Mm-hmm. I think definitely that. I think moving to a different stadium probably had something to do with cost. Probably because of they were looking at how many people that were coming to each game, so they probably estimated how many people were going to go to the championship game. So they probably did some sort of calculation or something to like be like, okay, this stadium's cheaper, holds less people, but it'll still hold the amount of people we expect.
Yeah, and imagine if San Antonio were to win the West, how many people would have packed in that stadium? Because San Antonio was getting 30,000 people per home game. Their low was still higher than most teams' high attendance.
I remember
this season.
Just watching every game, and it was loud. Like
they got into it. They embraced it.
Like,
and I think if they would have went to the championship game this year, it would have been another home game for them. I think they would have outnumbered. I think it would have
definitely
been easily probably like 3/4 Commanders fans.
Probably.
I don't know. Moving it to Texas it came sudden. It felt like I felt some stuff was rushed like
it
that.
Probably
was.
I
feel like they kind of pushed that. And this leaves the question: do you think the Alliance rushed stuff to beat the XFL?
I think they did. I think they were trying to prove that they would have a better championship game than the XFL. They might have moved it just because if they did win, better attendance. So, you never know.
And I felt a lot of things were rushed, but I think the season were to finish. I think it could have went on for another year at least. I think they would have thought through stuff a little better.
I think it would have went on for another 2 years.
I think they decided, what we did wrong, and what changes do we have to make.
Mm-hmm.
And I think pushing it too much was a mistake, and pulling it early was a bigger mistake.
Do you want to start a wrap up?
Sure.
All right. Well, basically, we talked about why Tom Dundon sucks.
Oh yeah.
Why he was a terrible president. Oh wait, what?
I'll never like him ever.
Nope. Never ever.
Years from now, I'll still never like him.
I'll have grandchildren. I'll be like, remember Tom Dundon? He died 50 years ago, but I still hate him.
Bad man. Bad person. Like my dad loved the USFL, and when it closed down, he was like he told me how he was upset when it closed down, and to this day, he's like he still hasn't gotten over it.
Yep.
And the USFL I think lasts 3 seasons, but it's I could see myself being the same way about the Alliance closing down.
Yep.
And I guess it just shows beware who your investors are in a league.
Definitely.
Be careful.
All right, and one more wrap up on what players do we think will make it into the NFL, because they showed plenty of promise.
I hope Charles Johnson definitely gets in. I think he should. I think he will. Yeah.
I'm hoping for Jerome Elliott and Rashad Ross. That's who I'm hoping for.
And then, of course, Trent Richardson deserves one more shot.
And I think that's all we had for tonight.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. This will probably be posted into SoundCloud. I think I'll start doing that with our podcasts. So thank you, everybody that decided to join us tonight. It means a lot to us.
Thank you, everybody.
Everybody have a great night, morning, day, work, whenever you listen to this. See you guys all later.